Now, I'm aware that many of you do not often have the occasion to bring your questions or concerns to the attention of your representatives in the House. So with that in mind, I thought I would make myself available to answer what questions or concerns I might regarding these proposed agreements of non-importation, or those matters of the past that have forced this decision upon us, or anything else, I suppose, of a public nature, to which I might provide answer. Have any of you questions or concerns I might address? I don't blame you, ma'am. The question is there anything else that we can do to assist the people of Massachusetts, or more importantly, the people of Boston? The rest of Massachusetts is not so greatly affected by this because Boston is independent mostly of the rest of Massachusetts. Most of Massachusetts is engaged in raising crops. Boston isn't. The closing of the port of Boston will cause a great deal of suffering to the city of Boston. That's why we're calling for this, ma'am. This is in direct reaction to the port being closed. I mean, the tax on tea has been in effect since the Townsend days. The only reason that we are now calling to stop all imports is because matters have escalated. Because of an unfortunate circumstance that shouldn't even have occurred, the destruction of tea in Boston. But that doesn't justify the closing of a port and the punishing of an entire city. The maybe 24 men who destroyed the tea, they should be brought to justice. But you can't punish an entire city for the crimes of a few. We have already begun to take monies up here in Virginia, and as to the other colonies, there's nothing that Virginia can do to direct other colonies in what responses they take. But we are already raising monies to the relief of the poor in Boston. And I hope that if we do adopt an agreement of non-importation, that unlike the past two agreements, or three if you include the 70 agreement, that we will actually put some means of enforcement upon this one. And a portion of that enforcement is I would expect that anyone who violates the association and who imports against the association, that those goods should be auctioned off and the monies raised by that auction should be sent to the relief of the poor in Boston as well. The actions that occurred in Boston should never have occurred. Should never have happened, the destruction of tea. We are told by Locke, when he defined our unalienable rights, and quite rightly so, that all rights stem from your rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of property. Here in Virginia, we consider the rights to private property sacrosanct. And who owned the tea that was thrown into the harbor in Boston? Whose tea was that?
British merchants. The British merchants.
We're all British. It didn't belong to me. Who did it belong to?
Tea company.
The East India Company.
Yeah.
Remind me again, which tax was placed by the East India Company?
None.
None. No, taking an action against the government by destroying private property should never occur. But it doesn't, as I say, justify the punishment of an entire city. And I know that there are those amongst you who believe that we are showing support because of actions that Boston has taken and that this is somehow a Boston concern. But let me assure you that is absolutely not the truth. This is not a Boston issue. It's not a Massachusetts issue. It's not even a North American issue. It is a British issue. If any free-born subject of the Crown allows his rights and liberties to be deprived, or allows the rights and liberties of another free-born subject to be denied, then you have created precedent to allow it anywhere. We sit idly by and allow Boston to be unlawfully punished. We provide precedent for the same thing to occur here in Williamsburg, or in Philadelphia, or for that matter, in Dublin, or Londonderry, or Glasgow, or Edinburgh, or for that matter in the streets of London herself. This is a British issue. Other question?